Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, hello, welcome. In case you're wondering, I had a seizure, knocked out a tooth, so if you see a gap, it's not always there. I'm just waiting to get my tooth fixed. Today I am here to go over the one and only presser that the Selma Police Department has given in the Jolissa Fuentes case. Jolissa has been missing since August 7th, and yes, you heard me right, August 7th, and yesterday was the very first and only presser that we have gotten. She was last seen at about 4 a.m. at an AM/PM gas station, and Jolissa and her car have been missing ever since. I just did a video about the case, kind of giving you the overview and the timeline, so I would encourage you to go and watch that one so you're familiar with the case, and this presser review will make a lot more sense to you if you watch that one first. So let's dive in. Of course, as always, I have my notes to go over so I don't miss anything. So they had the presser yesterday, which was Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. It was the chief of Selma Police Department. First, he gave a summary of what they have been doing so far in the case. He said Sunday, August 7th at approximately 8 p.m., Jolissa was reported as a missing person. Officers responded to meet with family members who explained to the police that on Saturday, Jolissa had attended a family gathering at approximately 8 p.m. Through the police investigation, they were able to determine that about 3 a.m., Jolissa went home to grab some belongings. They did not specify what belongings. Officers were able to find out that Jolissa visited a convenience store on the outskirts of the city limits at Highland and Nebraska and Arco AM/PM at about 4 a.m. She is seen on video entering the store, purchasing some items. Then she gets into her vehicle and leaves going westbound on Nebraska Avenue. She appears to be by herself. On Monday, August 8th, officers began actively working the investigation, and they were able to get an emergency ping on her cell phone. However, later that morning, the phone did not continue to ping on Sunday, August 7th. On Tuesday, August 9th, they followed up on leads given to them by the family members in the area west of Selma in the Nebraska and Fowler and Nebraska and Flora area. The family members have gone out and searched the area many times. Investigators used drones to search the area. However, they were not able to get any positive locations on Jolissa at that time. Additionally, officers have offered several search warrants looking for any digital data, cell phone, social media, banking info, etc., as well as any other digital info they might need to analyze to locate Jolissa. He said in an investigation, info comes in slowly, not as fast as they'd like. The family has done a phenomenal job of getting info out, not just in Selma, but all of Fresno County, even the nation. After conducting additional interviews with family members, they have gotten several additional tips, but none have led to Jolissa's location. On Thursday, August 11th, police obtained information from the phone company about the pings on Jolissa's cell phone that led them to a search area near the Pine Flat and Avocado Lake area, just northeast of the city of Sanger. Looking at that phone information allowed them to see that Jolissa's phone had traversed through the city of Sanger and into the Avocado Lake Pine Flat area. At that time, as they do not have the resources such as Fresno County, they connected with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office and their search and rescue team. Fresno County Sheriff's Office has been phenomenal in helping with the physical search for Jolissa as they continue the digital search for Jolissa. Digital data is paramount in finding missing persons and victims of crime. Detectives continue to analyze the data. And then he gave these statistics on what has been done in the search. There have been 20 hours searching the main roadways of Pine Flat, Avocado Lake area, 15 hours of search time with helicopters, 1,740 ground miles covered by 16 off-road vehicles for a total of 288 hours in the Pine Flat, Avocado area. Fresno County Sheriff Search and Rescue Boating Unit was used with side scan sonar detecting. 43 hours have been spent searching waterways. He said that it was very rare that a 22-year-old girl has no digital footprint. From the onset, Jolissa's family was adamant that this is not normal behavior, which brings police their concern. That is why Selma police immediately reached out to the sheriff's office and Fresno Police Department. On that following Saturday, they had an analyst come down from the Fresno Police Department to help them analyze that data. They also sent it out to the Fresno Police Department crime analyst. At this point, there is nothing overtly to point to a criminal act occurring, but Jolissa has been gone a long time, and this is not normal behavior for Jolissa, so they are treating this as a criminal matter. They are doing their best to communicate with Jolissa's family, give them whatever information they can. However, they do have to treat this as a criminal matter and ensure that they are making their best effort to bring forward a prosecutorial case should they find that something of a criminal nature occurred. Then there were questions. They said they were following up on leads from New Mexico to Fresno County. They are doing all they can with the resources they have. 2 people working the case have the Rona, so patrol staff have been brought in to assist in the investigation. Pine Flat, Avocado Lake area is a vast area to cover. They're using triangulation from cell towers to try to narrow it down to a more specific search area. He said, quote, "We're going to find Miss Fuentes. I don't know how long it will take, but we're going to find her. As time cools, the geography changes. That tall brush will lessen and be more lower to the ground to allow more visibility to search teams. It's going to be an enormous challenge to find her," unquote. He wouldn't say where her location was when she tried to video call her sister. He said that it was not uncommon to find someone a year or a year and a half later in this area because it is so vast. He said, "We are doing our best to find her, but we have to continue to serve the city of Selma as well." She was reported missing on August 7th, but a bolo, be on the lookout, was not released until August 10th. But he said that she and her car info would have been entered into the database on the 7th. He can't answer if she was alone driving to Sanger, because if they knew, it would become a part of any future prosecutorial or criminal investigation. As far as they know, and from what they've seen, they believe she was by herself, looking for her car, because it is a large object that would be easier to find, but would love to find her phone. Her phone has been off for some time. The chief stated that he just started on August 1st, and this case just sort of fell in his lap. Adventures with Purpose has not reached out to Selma PD, but we know they are on their way. So now I just want to talk about the problems I have with this presser. Many of you know that we had been covering the Kylie Rodney case, and she sadly was found on Sunday by Adventures with Purpose. If you remember, the law enforcement agencies there, Placer County and Nevada County, were very proactive about having pressers, sometimes even when there wasn't really anything new to report. They gave us pretty quickly where her phone last pinged. They told us what time her phone was turned off. They updated us. They told us what she was wearing. Then they updated us on possible hoodies that she may have had. They updated us on jewelry that they were looking for. They described her phone. All kinds of things that weren't covered for Jolissa. They gave us no description of clothing. They gave us nothing specific to look for. They gave us a very broad area of where her phone pinged. I feel like we got so much more information so quickly in the search for Kylie. We had representatives from Nevada County that every day the search and rescue guy would update us on their efforts and what they were doing. We had somebody from Placer County that would come and update us every day on the investigation side of the case. We had the public information officer there to give us updated information and answer questions. And in this case, we just had the Selma police chief. When people would ask questions regarding the cell phone, he would say things like, "Oh, that's a tech question and I can't answer that." Okay, have a tech person there that can answer that. He seemed uncomfortable talking in front of a crowd. I don't know. Some people are, but if he is, I don't know why we don't have like a designated public information officer that could have done it for him. There was nobody there from the search and rescue team to tell us exactly what they were doing. Were they using dogs? Just details like that I would really like to know. Another thing that bothers me is the amount of time and resources being used. It was huge for Kylie. Huge. Every day they updated on social media. Even when they quit doing pressers because there was nothing new, every day they still updated on their social media which agencies were involved, how many hours had been put in, how many boats were being used, how many helicopters were being used, things like that. Every day. Every day we knew exactly what was going on, how much time and effort was being put in, how many searchers they had out there, how many tips had been called in, things like that. Every day. And we got none of that. And what we did get was very disappointing. If you compare the two cases, so much more time and manpower was being put into finding Kylie. And I get it. She was 16. She was a minor. I understand that. But even if it's not the same amount, I feel like there should be more being done in Jolissa's case. And yes, I understand that you still have to serve the city of Selma. But up in Placer County, where Kylie was missing, those departments still had cities that they had to serve as well. So, big problem with that. Another problem I had was just the family was there. The family was asking some of the questions and some of the things that this guy said. Now, I understand, it's a missing person. I understand that she's been gone for 3 weeks now, but to me, I like to keep hope alive. I mean, I was raised to expect the worst, but hope for the best. And in these cases, I think hope is so important. And then you have this guy up there talking about, we will find her. It might be a year or a year and a half, but we're going to find her. And talking about, waiting for, the brush to die off or whatever so they can see better and things like that. I just don't think that's the kind of things that you should be saying to the family. I I don't know. I really had a problem with it when he said it. And they said they weren't going to do any more pressers, which, that's fine. Whatever. I understand if there's nothing significant, then don't have one. But he also said they weren't going to be posting on their social media unless there was something significant. And I'm not okay with that. He didn't want to saturate their social media. And that's crap. I mean, we need to saturate social media so everybody knows that Jolissa is still missing. And we would like to see what effort is being put forth on the part of the police department and the FBI to find her. So they could daily post like they did for Kylie. How many people are out there? How many agencies are assisting? How many hours are being put in? How many tips are you following up on? And things like that. I think it would be good for the public and for her family. And it's upsetting. This case is just as important as any other missing persons case. And there are so many out there, we can't possibly cover them all. But I've told you before, I am a Cherokee Indian. And, you know, missing and murdered Indigenous people they don't get coverage. Jolissa is Hispanic, but that doesn't mean that she's any less important than a 16-year-old blonde girl that went missing. She deserves just as much attention as anybody else. So that's why I'm here. I want her case out there. I want people to know that she is missing. Her family is desperately trying to find her. And honestly, it feels like her family is doing the most work on this case. Even in the press conference, he talked about how much the family has done. He has talked about leads and tips brought in by the family. And I know any family is going to be out there doing everything that they can to find their person when they're missing. But this family has been incredible. This search, for the most part, has been because of them and on them. They are getting up in the morning and they are going all day long until dark, searching for her, printing flyers, passing out flyers, going up and down the street, looking for video camera footage from people that have like a Ring doorbell or security cameras. They are printing these flyers out at their own expense. They are driving around everywhere, and we all know how expensive gas is right now. They have a GoFundMe, which I highly encourage you, if you can, to please donate to them. Like I said, this isn't cheap. Every day they're out there looking. You have to pay to get these flyers printed. You have to pay for gas. And it will help there's a $10,000 reward, and it can help increase the reward. And as much as I hate the fact that it takes a reward in these cases sometimes for people to come forward, it's just a fact of life. And the higher the reward, maybe the higher the chances are that somebody would be inclined to talk. So if you can, even if you can just donate $1, it would help. It would go a long way. And what we can do is continue to talk about Jolissa, continue to talk about her case, get her face out there, get her flyers out there, share it with everyone you know. It's been 3 weeks. She could be anywhere. If you're in the area and you can help the family search, please do so. There is a food train set up where people are giving meals to the family, which I think is fantastic. It's one less thing that they have to worry about. If you can donate a meal to the family, do that. If you can print out flyers, do that. And honestly, with the flyers, after this long, she could be anywhere. So I don't care where you live. Distribute these flyers. Put them under car windshield wiper blades. Put them up anywhere you can think of. And like I said, share her picture, share her flyer on social media, share my video, or just write up Jolissa's story in your own words. Just get it out there and keep it out there. If the police aren't going to saturate their social media with Jolissa, then we will saturate ours. Use hashtag bring Jolissa home. Use hashtag find Jolissa. Hashtag her name. Make sure you get the spelling right on your social media. So if people are searching it, they'll see it. People need to know that she is still missing after 3 weeks. And together, we can make sure that this case doesn't get lost. It doesn't get forgotten. It doesn't get let go. I intend on covering this until Jolissa is brought home. Adventures with Purpose is on their way. This guy says that they didn't reach out to Selma police. I find that hard to believe because they normally work cold cases, and they coordinated in Kylie's case with law enforcement. So I'm sure that they are coordinating with someone on Jolissa's case. I pray that they don't find anything in their search for her, but at least somebody is stepping up and doing something. And I know the family appreciates it so much. And anything that we can do, her family is going to appreciate so much. So let's keep this out there. Keep sharing her story. Keep sharing her photos. Keep sharing her flyers. Keep it out there. And maybe that'll put some pressure on the police department to do a little bit more. Because this family deserves that. So please like this video. If you give it a thumbs up, it will help boost it in the algorithm, and more people will see this video. And that's what we want. More people to see this, more people to learn about Jolissa, and more eyes on this case. If you see something or you saw something, say something. No tip is too small. Everything needs to be followed up on. So even if you think you saw something, go ahead and call it in, because you never know. So give this a thumbs up. Share, share, share. Please share this on your social media. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would encourage you to do that. And click the bell to all for notifications, and you'll get notified every time I upload a video, not just about Jolissa, but all the cases that I'm covering. And like I said, I'm going to continue to cover Jolissa until she is found. Together, we can do great things, and hopefully we can do great things for this wonderful family and this beautiful girl, and we can find her and bring her home. So, as always, I thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me to learn about Jolissa, to hear about this one and only press conference that they've held. And guys, just love each other. Be good humans. Tell everyone in your life how much they mean to you, because we don't know how long we have. And as always, I will see you in the next one.